and friends. I'm Dr. Joseph Ortiz, a dermatologist by profession from St. Luke's Medical Center. I'd like to welcome all of you again tonight. We're very fortunate that through SpectruMed, thanks to Doron and Sharon, who continuously bring in foreign speakers, distinguished ones, to teach us the new techniques or devices that are out in the market. And tonight we have a new filler which is going to be introduced. And tonight, as usual, the speaker has no exception, is also a distinguished one. She actually comes from the land down under in Sydney. She has worked in the field of aesthetic medicine for the past 11 years. She is well regarded in the industry as being one of the finest injectors in Sydney, with a unique skill in combining an artistic evaluation of the face with techniques in injectable medicine. She has worked with top international makeup artists in understanding facial contours, as well as top surgeons learning about the latest in assessment and techniques. She is also an international trainer and has worked in various parts of the world, demonstrating the art and craft of aesthetic medicine. She has a strong presence in media and has worked with multiple skincare companies such as Elizabeth Arden and L'Oreal as their medical ambassador and advisor. Her long list of celebrity clientele confirms her position as quoted by the media as the Queen of Fillers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you to talk about enhancing patient treatment with radiesse, Dr. Van Park.
Tonight, we're all here to achieve one aim, and that is to enhance the treatment of our patients. In front of all of you tonight, a rare occasion where every player of our industry is sitting together in one room. We've got the cosmetic and plastic surgeons, the cosmetic dermatologists, and the cosmetic doctors. So thank you so much for making the effort for coming here tonight. Now before we begin, I'd like to ask everyone a question. How do you see your role in the industry? Do you see yourselves as being doctors? Or do you see yourselves as being artists? I hope tonight we leave with a refreshed perspective, that we are all artists with the skill and knowledge of doctors. Now some of you sitting there might be asking, why would I ask that question? Why the hell do we want to be artists when we spent so long training to be doctors? The reason is this. I know a lot of us who are sitting out there have been in the industry for many years, more than I have. And I'm sure you've seen the industry change. In the past, when our patients used to come and see us, all they wanted from us was for us to help them get rid of their signs of aging. So if we could help them get rid of their lines, their wrinkles, and their sagging skin, and if that's all we did, they were happy. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of these patients walking around. They've got no lines, no wrinkles, but they look somewhat odd. And I'm guilty of contributing to those group of patients myself. Nowadays, our patients are expecting more from us. They not only ask us to make them look younger and get rid of their lines and wrinkles, but they want us to do it in the most natural and aesthetically pleasing way. So they want us to make them look not only younger, but more beautiful. And how do we do that? We do that by being doctors and understanding the art of anti-aging. And we do that by being artists, by understanding what beauty is and the art of beautification. So our role has changed. We not only are involved in anti-aging, but it's about beautification. So that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. I'm going to be talking about how we achieve anti-aging and how we achieve beautification using radiesse. Now, tonight I know that everyone has come here after a long day's work, and I will try and make this talk as short as possible so that we can focus on the demonstration. So I have divided this talk into 3 sections. First, we're going to talk briefly about anti-aging, and then we're going to talk about beautification, and then we're going to talk about why we're here tonight, what is radiesse, and how we can achieve those aims using radiesse. So let's begin with the first section of the talk, and let's talk about anti-aging. Now, before I talk about anti-aging again, I want to ask you another question. Between wrinkles and shadowing, which do you think is more aging in a woman? Can I have a show of hands who think it's wrinkling and who thinks it's shadowing? You know, in the past, if I asked this question 5 years ago, most of the people in the room would have said it's wrinkles that is more aging in a woman. But in the last 5 years or so, it's changed. If I ask the same question, more and more people are saying it's shadowing, and I agree with them. And the reason why, and I've had the privilege of meeting a couple of doctors in this room this morning, and I've explained this concept before, to them as well. But a good way to think about how shadowing can cause aging in a woman and why it's more aging than wrinkles is, think of a woman across a room at a party or a function. You are too far to see any of her lines and wrinkles. You can always work out how old she is from the shadowing and the shape of her face. So that's why addressing volume is so important in our treatment of anti-aging. So that leads us to what causes volume change? What are the types of volume changes? Again, I'm sure we're all very familiar with the 2 types of volume change. We've got 2 types of volume change. You've got your subcutaneous and you've got your bone change. Now, in the last few years, we've been treating volume change in the subcutaneous layer in terms of the midface, the nasolabial lines, and the jowls, and we've been doing it pretty well. And our understanding of the subcutaneous layer has changed somewhat. In the last few years, we now understand that the subcutaneous layer is now made up of 9 compartments of fat rather than 1 continuous sheet of fat, which undergoes atrophy and hypertrophy independent of each other. Now, a guy that contributed to a lot of our understanding of the subcutaneous change is Joel Pesser, and he did a lot of studies, and these are some of the image of his study, which isolated certain fat pads that you see. So that's what we see here, the jowl fat pads and the nasolabial fat pads. Again, this is another image. This is another image of some of his studies. And you can see here, this is your nasolabial fat pad. So what he showed is that these fat pads actually shrink and grow, shrink in some parts and grow in others. And once we know this is the main changes that happen. Your nalar atrophy, we've been treating this, our nasolabial folds from hypertrophy of the nasolabial fat pad, and your pre-jowl sulcus, which is due to hypertrophy of your jowl fat pads and drop and descent. Now these signs, the subcutaneous change, is what I call your conscious signs of aging. These signs are what your patients come and they tell you, they notice it themselves. These are the signs that we look for when we look for signs of aging, and they ask you to address their nasolabial line, or they ask you to fix their pre-jowl sulcus, or they call them radiesse.